You know, the world of digital assets, it feels like it's always reinventing itself, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Constantly.
Just when you think you finally got a handle on things, boom, there's some huge shift, and it makes it really hard to see, what's actually going on beneath the surface, beyond the headlines.
It really does. It's not just evolving. It feels like it's being fundamentally redefined
Hmm.
sometimes. And getting to the core of those shifts, that's key if you want to be properly informed.
Exactly. Which is why we're doing this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hmm.
Our mission today really is to give you that shortcut. We're diving into what some are calling the crypto reset.
Right.
It's this series of, well, pivotal moves we've seen highlighted in our source material, and they seem to be genuinely reshaping the whole digital asset game.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and unpack these developments, pull out the really important bits of knowledge, the key insights. The goal is you walk away with a much clearer picture of where crypto is now and maybe where it's heading.
And as we go through this, you'll see how these pieces connect. We're looking at things like um, brand new federal rules for stablecoins,
Mm.
which is huge for big finance.
Yeah.
We're seeing this undeniable surge of interest from traditional finance, TradFi,
Right.
and even some, frankly, surprising players becoming massive distributors of digital assets. It all paints a bigger picture.
Okay, let's get into it then. First up, a really foundational shift, something that could touch a huge part of the digital economy. The U.S. has basically just rolled out a federal rule book for stablecoins.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe that sounds a bit dry, just another regulation,
Yeah.
but the impact,
Yeah.
it seems profound.
Oh, it's way more than just a tweak. It's like a structural reset almost.
Yeah.
By giving it a clear federal framework, it basically de-risks stablecoins for the big traditional players.
You mean like banks, asset managers?
Exactly. Banks, asset managers. It potentially opens up direct paths for them to actually, say, mint and redeem stablecoins that are backed by real assets like treasury bills.
Yeah.
Think about what that does for liquidity pools. It could pull in trillions in new capital that was sitting on the sidelines because of regulatory uncertainty.
Right, the ambiguity was holding them back.
Precisely. So this moves stablecoins beyond just crypto-native uses into, well, potentially mainstream financial operations. It's a massive step for trust and just basic accessibility. A real game changer.
Okay. And sticking with capital flowing in, Ethereum just had a major moment, right? These record ETF inflows. BlackRock's ETH, it blew past $10 billion in assets under management.
Astonishing speed, yeah.
I mean, that's a huge number, but what does that really tell us? Beyond the headline figure, what's the signal there about how comfortable institutions are getting with crypto?
That's the million-dollar or $10 billion question, isn't it?
Oh, right.
That AUM figure, it's not just a number. It's like a declaration. Institutional embrace. Loud and clear.
Because it's BlackRock.
Exactly. BlackRock is synonymous with mainstream established finance. For them to see such fast inflows into an ETH product, it basically gives Ethereum a stamp of approval as a legitimate investable asset class, even for their most conservative clients.
Okay, so it opens the door wider.
It opens the floodgates, potentially, for pension funds, endowments, sovereign wealth funds to start allocating seriously. It feels like a real paradigm shift, not just a temporary trend. It tells you the smart money isn't just watching anymore. They're in.
Okay, so we've got new money coming in, institutional validation, but what about the old money, the really early players? Our source mentioned a Satoshi-era whale.
Yeah, someone holding Bitcoin from the very, very beginning.
Exited about $9 billion worth. Through Galaxy, $9 billion.
That's a number that makes you sit up for sure.
What does that tell us? Besides, someone made a lot of money.
Well, it raises really interesting questions about market depth. And this is where you see how much things have matured.
How so?
Because that kind of move, $9 billion. Yeah. First, it confirms the liquidity is actually there. It's real and robust enough.
The market could handle it.
Right. But it also forces you to think about conviction. When someone who's held from the absolute dawn of Bitcoin makes such a massive move, it signals a pretty deep recalibration of their long-term view, maybe.
Or just taking profits on a scale we can barely imagine.
Could be. But the key thing is the market absorbed it. That speaks volumes about maturity. It shows the market is deep enough now to handle even these huge, ancient positions without just collapsing. That wasn't always guaranteed,
No, definitely not. Okay, so institutional money is pouring into established assets like ETH. The market's mature enough to handle huge exits from early holders, which leads to the question, is the actual plumbing, the infrastructure, ready for this scale?
Exactly. Which brings us to things like Solana's recent moves.
Right, the capacity boost.
Yeah.
Our source noted Solana's pushing for a 66% increase in block capacity.
Yeah, and this is really critical for Solana. It's directly tackling scalability and, transaction costs. The goal is simple. Make more room for transactions.
Less congestion, cheaper fees, hopefully.
Ideally, reduce network jams, make the chain smoother for everyone using it. Yeah. But the source frames it while it poses the question, right? Either congestion melts or the fire gets more oxygen. Meaning, does this increased capacity actually solve the strain and support real growth?
Yeah.
Or does it just allow even more activity, maybe creating new bottlenecks, potentially pushing the network to its limits in a different way? It's a big test.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, this next development feels like a real curveball, changing how people might actually get crypto. Telegram, the messaging app.
Yeah.
They've rolled out TON wallets to 87 million users in the US. That suddenly positions them as this super app contender in the race to distribute digital assets.
It's not just the tech integration, though, that's part of it. It's the sheer distribution power.
The user base.
Exactly. Telegram already has this enormous engaged user base. Plugging crypto wallets directly into the app, that gives them an instant, massive advantage in getting digital assets into millions of hands.
Bypassing the usual suspects, like exchanges or specialized crypto apps.
Totally. It fundamentally changes the game for how mainstream audiences can access and potentially use digital assets. Imagine the network effect. You can just zap some crypto to your friends right there in your chat window.
Yeah, seamless.
It's not just about offering crypto anymore. It's about making it almost invisible, ubiquitous, just part of the apps you already use every day.
Wow. Okay, and it's not just messaging apps jumping in deeper. Traditional finance, TradFi, they're not just dipping their toes in anymore, are they? They seem to be diving in head first.
Absolutely. And in really diverse ways.
Like the examples we saw, Christie's, the auction house, opening a specific desk for crypto real estate.
Right. That signals tokenization of high-value real-world assets hitting the mainstream.
Then there's Strategy, part of the MicroStrategy ecosystem, selling a $2 billion product backed by Bitcoin, styled like a money market fund.
Which points to really innovative ways people are using Bitcoin's value within traditional financial structures, blurring those lines between crypto and TradFi.
And even a SPAC, one of those blank check companies, aiming to just warehouse $1.5 billion worth of ETH.
Which is basically a big, direct, long-term institutional bet on Ethereum's future value and utility as a core asset.
So these aren't just small experiments anymore.
Not at all. These are significant commitments from established names and platforms. They're weaving crypto into their actual core business. That's a fundamental shift.
And thinking about where the action, the capital really is, U.S. ETF flows are still massively overshadowing places like Hong Kong, right?
Oh, clearly. The liquidity center of gravity is pretty obvious.
What does that tell us?
It just cements the U.S.'s position as the dominant hub for digital asset liquidity and investment right now. It's not only about the sheer volume, it's also the regulatory environment, even if it's still evolving and maybe imperfect, combined with that deep, established institutional plumbing.
That makes the U.S. the go-to market.
For large-scale institutional money and even significant retail investment, yes. Other regions are definitely building their markets. Yeah. But the sheer amount of capital flowing into U.S.-based crypto ETFs right now, it means if you need deep liquidity, if you need serious access, the U.S. is undeniably the main event currently.
Okay, and one final piece here. Tether, issuer of USDT, the biggest stablecoin by far. They seem to be signaling a path back towards the U.S. market.
Yeah, while also highlighting a huge reserve cushion, which is reassuring.
Why is that move significant?
It's critical, really, for the whole stablecoin market and for building more regulatory trust. If Tether shows it's willing and able to operate within U.S. rules.
And proves it has the backing.
Exactly. And backs it up with transparent, robust reserves that helps tackle some of those long-standing worries about stablecoin transparency and stability. The concerns that have kind of held back even wider adoption.
So it's a move towards more legitimacy.
You could say that. It potentially smoothed the path for stablecoins to be more widely accepted and integrated into mainstream finance, specifically within the U.S. market.
Okay. Wow. We've covered a lot of ground.
And we certainly have.
So let's try and pull this together. What does this all mean for you listening? This deep dive really highlights this huge crypto reset happening. We're seeing mainstream adoption pick up speed, fueled by big capital flows like those ETH ETFs and TradFi getting involved much more deeply, more creatively.
Right, and at the same time, you've got these efforts towards clearer rules like the federal stablecoin framework.
Yeah, attempts at clarity anyway. And the underlying tech keeps evolving, like Solana boosting capacity. Plus, this undeniable blending of traditional finance and crypto and these powerful new ways crypto is being distributed, like through Telegram.
Exactly, and understanding these shifts, it's not just about, following the crypto news cycle. It's really crucial if you want to decode where digital finance might be heading.
Spotting opportunities, maybe.
Spotting opportunities, recognizing the tech trends that are going to impact pretty much everyone, whether you're deep in crypto or not. Knowing these specific pieces helps you see the why behind the headlines, the market moves. It helps you anticipate what might come next.
Absolutely. It is all incredibly connected. Which leads to a final thought, maybe. Given all these rapid shifts, we talked about new rules, big institutions jumping in, huge amounts of money moving, super apps rising. What do you think the next frontier for digital assets actually looks like? And maybe just as important, how quickly does it get here?
That's the big question.
And perhaps, how do we balance all this incredible innovation, this pace, with the need for some kind of market stability as this whole reset keeps playing out?
Definitely something to mull over.
It certainly is. Well, thanks for joining us for the deep dive.